Hi guys, so in the previous story, I told you about how I got fired and I got banned from a company. So today I want to tell you about what I did next. So first I went home. I couldn't stay in Nairobi because I couldn't raise rent, so I had to go back home. And of course, just like every other human being, you're going to go through all the emotions. You feel bad, you make fired, you don't know what to do next. So I was in my feelings. I was very deep into victimhood. Oh no, poor me. Life is unfair. Sijui nini. But of course, hizo stages za grief ya mwisho ni acceptance. You finally get to the point where you're like, okay, ni sawa. I've lost the job, ama I've experienced the loss, whatever that you've lost. What now? Hauwezi jihurumia milele. You cannot move around forever. At some point, you need to accept what has happened and figure a way to kind of rebuild your life ama get out of that situation. And just like everybody else, when you get to the acceptance stage, you're now calm, you're not in your feelings anymore. And I feel like when you get to the acceptance stage, now you're thinking straight. And so for me, when I got to that stage, I asked myself two questions. The first one was, if all factors were to be held constant, like if money was not a problem and time was not an issue, how would you want your life to look like long term? Like, picture yourself at 50, at 60, you're retired. What does that look like for you? What does your life look like for you at the age of 60? And I don't know how this is going to sound to you guys, but for me personally, for the longest time, I've wanted to create content. I started wanting to create content from 2018. 2018 nilikuwa second year. I used to watch Wabosha Maxine, akina JK Nyambura, Samantha Nyakoe, huyo anakwanga mostly on Instagram, and I loved what they were doing. The whole vlogging, the fashion, the story time. I just wanted to do what they were doing. But at that time, I had this mindset of I must first finish school and then look for work and then get paid and then save money and then do like that. I don't know. I just didn't think there was another way to do things. I just thought there's a specific way that things are supposed to be done. So I never really did anything about it, which is one of my biggest regrets in life, because now that I look back, ningefanya nzi channel yangu when I was in school. But anyway, ni sawa. We are here now. We are here now. So for a long time nilikuwa najua I want to do something to do with being in front of a camera. At first I wanted to study mass communication, journalism, and at some point become a news anchor on Citizen. That did not happen. I failed in Kiswahili. Don't know how true this is, because the more I grew up, the more I realized that people were just feeding me projections and not facts. So I don't know how true this is, but I was told that I cannot pursue journalism because I got a C in Kiswahili, which I highly doubt. But anyway, I did not pursue journalism because I got a C in Kiswahili. Msini judge, I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know any better. I feel like I'm one of those. I'm a late bloomer. Like, I feel like I'm definitely in the category of people that we are slow. Like, I am slow in figuring things out. Even my processing rate, Windows Year 206, I take my time. I don't know how I survived in high school and somehow I got an A in math, but my brain is slow. Like, mimi nitaload, utaniambia kitu, and then I'm gonna be like, alafu 5 minutes later is when I'm like, oh. Like, in Zootopia, that animation, I love watching animations. Ile, I don't know what it's called, but there's a character kwanga very slow. It's like, ha, my brain, that is how it functions. So for the longest time I would just believe whatever my family would tell me. I just believed it. I didn't bother to Google, nothing. I didn't even try, But anyway, that is why I did not study mass communication. I studied education. I'm supposed to be a high school teacher. Story for another day. But anyway, I knew that I want to do something with being in front of a camera. And when I did not end up studying mass communication, nikajua there's content creation. I can get a phone and start filming myself. But again, I thought that first I have to finish school and then get work and then save money and then buy a phone. So when I was in school, I didn't do anything, which I could have, because I used to receive help of 14,000. It wasn't a lot of money, but also it was my money. Like, my parents used to pay for my rent, they used to give me pocket money, they used to pay for my school fees. So the 14,000 was my money. I could have saved it and gotten a camera or a phone. Anyway, better late than never. So better late than never. So fast forward now to 2025, because I got fired in 2024 around March, and then I moved around early 2025. So after answering the first question of what I want to do with my life long term, I love to talk. I love to talk in front of a camera. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I don't know, from when I was in high school. I used to watch Akina Julie Gishuru when she was working in Citizen, and I was like, man, I want to do this. I want to one day like do something to do with being in front of a camera. So Mimi, even when I'm old, like when I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s, you best believe I'm still going to be making content, because I've seen people do it. I saw a grandma making a video of her getting ready to celebrate her 80th birthday na akatupostia on TikTok. So yes, 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 I will still be doing content even when I'm old and gray, because it's something that I don't know, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. Talking to a camera makes me happy. In the past, before now, I used to talk to myself all the time. So now the only difference is there's a camera in front of me. Otherwise, talking to myself in a wanga constant, I am always having conversations with myself. So it should not be a problem. I don't know, guys. That's just me. So to mejibu the first question, I want to create content. Okay, I want to be in front of a camera, and I always have something to say. Me and I'll always have something to say. I tried to do YouTube videos, that silent vlogs, and I was like, man, this is not me. This is not me. Mimi niko na maoni. I have something to say. Anyway, so that was question number one. We want to do this long term. But then, if we're being realistic, content creation takes time before you get to the point where it's making you money. Now, and remember, at this particular point, I I am unemployed. I am flat broke, like zero. Bank yangu, I think nilikuwa dina deni ya 1,500 ya bank, which took me a million years to pay. I don't know why. Anyway, I knew that I needed to also be doing something else that can generate me income before my content ever gets to the point where I'm getting paid. And the other thing that I love more than talking is clothes. I love clothes. If you know me in real life, you know that I love to dress up. Napenda kukaa vizuri. Don't mind my outfits right now. Trust me, we will get there. We will get there. But yeah, I love fashion. I love styling clothes. I love making clothes. Napenda manguo. Anything to do with clothes, it makes me happy. So the second thing I decided to do was to get sewing classes. I told my dad that I want to learn how to sew. I want to become a tailor. Nataka kujua kushona. Okay. My dad, he's a cool dad. He's the coolest dad ever. He does not ask questions. You just tell him what you want. If he has the money, he will fund it. Full stop. So my dad paid for me to learn how to sew. So as I'm taking the sewing classes, I'm also thinking, okay, I know that I want to do content. I want to do story time. I want to do fashion. I want to do vlogs. Okay. For the fashion, we're taking sewing classes, but then we don't have a filming equipment. At that time, I was using a Neon device, a very beat up Neon device. The camera was cracked. it couldn't even connect to Wi-Fi. It used to hang and just turn itself off. So obviously your story, oh, just start with what you have. Trust me, you do not want to start with a neon device. So I knew I had to somehow raise money to get either a phone or a camera. And I knew getting a phone is the easiest option, because if you get a camera, utahitaji SD cards, you need a laptop, like utahitaji other accessories. But when you get a phone, you can film and edit on your phone. So a phone was my only option. And then I knew an iPhone is also my only option, because other brands like Samsung, if you're going to get a Samsung that you can film with, you need to be having good money. But for iPhones, thank God, they keep producing new ones all the time, which makes the older versions a little bit cheaper. Not cheap, but at least a bit more affordable compared to a Samsung. Like you can get a good iPhone, like this one. This is an iPhone 11. You can get a good iPhone to film with at a more affordable price as compared to getting a nice Samsung that you can film with. So nilikuwa najua getting an iPhone is also my only option. Now the second question was, okay, now I know what I want, and we have sold a portion of it by starting to take sewing lessons. But sasa, how do we buy the iPhone so that we can start this content creation? Now, if you know where we live, I saw TikTok has been recommending me to all the people from my village. So which is fine. But yeah, if you know where our home is located, you know it is in the middle of nowhere. Kwanza, when we first moved there were like 5 homes. Huko kwingine kote ilikuwa kichaka. So we're in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so you cannot get like to odd jobs like here in the city. And I don't come from money. As far as societal standards are to be considered, we definitely belong to the poor category. We do just fine. I've never lacked for basic needs, but we are poor. Okay, kwetu hakuna pesa. So going to my parents to ask them to like get me an iPhone, that was not an option. Okay, they will give me ugali na managu, but that's it. If I want iPhones, I need to figure out how to do that. But then, in as much as they are not able like that, my dad always sends me pocket money. Up until now, my dad still sends me pocket money. Not a lot of money, like 1,000 bob, 800, sometimes even 300 shillings. And then Luca also, alikuwa anatumia kakitu up to now. He also sends me kidogo money here and there. Not a lot, like 2,000, 1,000 bob. And then my twin brother also was giving me 500 at the end of every month. Mi niliwaambia napendwa. Me, I'm loved at home. Okay, mi napendwa kwetu. So I sat and I was like, okay, it's it's little money, sikatai, but I live at home. I don't have any expenditure like whatsoever. My mom used to pay for my hair, for my pads, for my everything, kila kitu. My mom used to pay for it. So when I receive pocket money, it's just for airtime, and of which I used to buy 20 shillings, 1 GB. I download videos on YouTube and then I will watch them later after I'm done with my chores. I'm single, so I'm not calling anybody. I don't need to be online like that. So 20 shillings per day ilikuwa inatosha. Nata si lazima. Sometimes I tell my mom to hotspot me. Like, si lazima. I basically had zero expenditure. So in as much as I was receiving very little pocket money from my family, if I could save all that money and be patient enough, it could be enough to get an iPhone. Now, I know we are usually told if the money you have cannot solve the problem you have, eat that money. Mimi, I say, if the money you have cannot solve the problem you have, keep that money, look for more money, save it until it is enough to solve the problem that you have. And that is what I did. Nilijambia, because I have discipline problem, okay, I used to be in the category of you get the money, me haiwezi nunua iPhone, I eat all that money. So nilikuwa najua, if I keep the money where I can access it, I'm going to spend the money. So I got a tin bank. Alafu also saving kwa bank was not an option. remember na save 10 bob, 20 mia, like I was saving very little amounts because I also started going to my mom's tailoring shop. My mom is a tailor, among other things. So I'd go there and do repairs, and the money that I'd make from the repairs, ananiambia, your weka, like it's your money, you can keep it. So I was saving I was making very little money. Saving kwa bank would not make any sense. And then saving kwa bank, uh, it's really easy to transact. Like kuna apps, you can just withdraw the money. Kuna USSD codes, you can transfer the money to M-Pesa and use it. So a tin bank was my best shot at keeping myself disciplined venye sitatoa hiyo pesa. And that's what I did. I gave myself a period of 6 months, nikajiambia it doesn't matter how much money nitakuwa nimeraise in 6 months, whatever amount I'll be having, I will remove it, and whatever iPhone I can afford with that money, that is what I'm going to get. I was even willing to settle for an iPhone 8, iPhone X. I was like, bora it's an iPhone. It is better than a Neon Ray Pro. And then I told my family, on top of them giving me pocket money, on top of me saving the money that they're giving me, I told them at the end of the 6 month period, I'm going to call all of you for a fundraising. Okay, mutakuja tufanye fundraising. You guys are going to come and pledge and top up on top of the amount yenye nitakuwa nimeraise. Okay. As I said, me, I'm loved at home. With my family, they agreed to it. They were like, sawa, you save the money at the end of 6 months, tell us, alafu tutakuongezea. And so it began. Kila siku nikimake 20 bob. If I get 50 shillings, 500, 300, thou, nini, I used to naweka tu. My mom at first was like, wa, itawahi tosha inunue iPhone. There's like a friend of mine who in the village. I used to tell her, imagine I'm going to buy an iPhone with these 20 shillings zenye nafanya hapa repair. And they're like, utanunua iPhone na 20 bob. I told her, I'm going to buy an iPhone. I'm going to get an iPhone. Hey. Nikaweka pesa. And then towards the end of the 6 months period, as though God was rewarding me for my discipline, I got a job as a receptionist here in the city where I worked for 6 weeks and then I quit. Story for another day. Before I came to the city, I had managed to raise 10,000. 10! I know it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but if you know where our home is located, hey, utanipatia medal for raising 10,000. Nakwambia, the way I was economizing that money, if I nilikuwa naeka hadi 5 bob. No money was too little and no money was too much. Whatever I get. There's a day I told my mom, Aki, today I'm sad. I didn't make any money. I'm going to put a dash. I'm not going to save anything. She told me, they give you this 25 shillings work. And nikamwambia later, bring it. And I saved it. Anyway, getting the receptionist job in the city really boosted my savings. At first, I was earning 500 shillings, minus fare and food. I was only managing to save 150, and then later on, I started earning 700 minus fare and food. I was saving 450. And when we got to the end of the 6 months period, I told my family, wakati umefika, kila mtu a pledge. my dad had said he's gonna give me 3,000, but he ended up giving me 2,000 bob. When I told my mom that dad had given me 2,000, my mom was like, let me top up the 1,000. Maybe I'm not gonna give you money because I'm the one who pays for your hair and everything else, so I should not be invited to this harambe. But because your dad has given you 2,000 and you're expecting 3,000, I'm gonna add the 1,000 bob. Okay. God bless my parents. And of course, my twin brother was giving me 500 at the end of every month. And I don't know how much money Luca ended up adding, but I sent him everything that I had. Nikamwambia, get me an iPhone, whatever iPhone hiyo pesa inaweza nunua, you just get me an iPhone. He got me an iPhone 11, 258 GB. Sijua lilipa how much, but I also told him I want a blue cover. I want a light blue cover. I want a screen guard. He also got me a charger. So he probably added more money, but that's Luca for you. He likes to spoil his family members. Like, Mungu abarikiwe kijana. But yeah, after getting fired and moping around, I finally decided to get my life together. I learned how to sew. Now I'm in the city. I'm still fine tuning my sewing skill because my fundi is Angara level tailor. Unajua kuna ushago kind of sewing, and then there's Ngara kind of sewing, and Ngara level is like all the way up there. I'm still fine tuning my sewing skills. Ananifunza like how to perfectly make garments, and I'm making a little bit of money here and there from the sewing, and I'm creating content. So take this as your sign to ask yourself what it is that you want to do with your life long term, and come up with a plan and do it, because it is possible. Inawezekana, okay?